Starbucks music and traffic. But you know, today I wanted to talk about, well, actually I already did my Facebook live earlier. It was a Q&A, and I think it all the more resonates why I wanted to share this message today. And what I want to talk about is being aligned in the work that you do. And so you know, I want to share from, I'm gonna just share from my own experience, but it's, for me, if you're trying to move forward in business, and when I look back at times when I you know, was trying really hard, I guess would be like working really hard or trying really hard, a lot of times the best thing I could do was to be in a more surrendered place and to create from that space. Now, before I go into what that looks like more, I do want to say that there's definitely a balance between this, because, you know, with a lot of things, I think if you take it too literally one way, there's plenty of times where I need to write or do something for work, even if I don't feel inspired or even if I don't feel like it. So there is obviously a component of discipline and taking those consistent actions. However, there also comes a point when you're much better off, I found, to sort of wait and to be in a space where you are feeling just more surrendered to the moment and creating and speaking from that moment versus just doing something that you think you should do. So a perfect example for me, at least, was I thought that it would be a great idea to have a Q&A today for people wanting to transition careers. And I'm like, this is a topic I get asked all the time. I made a YouTube video last week and it got a lot of views. So, you know, here in my head, it's like, well, that's obviously a relevant topic that people want to hear a lot about. And so I announced it yesterday and, you know, prepared for it. And I had my Q&A today, and a couple minutes went by and nobody asked any questions. So I just decided, you know what, then I guess this wasn't the right time or the right subject today. And, you know, that's an example of me not necessarily being aligned in that moment, because again, a week ago that was a great topic and people obviously resonated with it, and I shared from that space and I got a lot of views on my video. It felt like the right thing in the moment to share about, and then this week it just fell flat. So, you know, if anyone has any experiences, like, please let me know. Chime in the chat box. I can't see who's on this call right now, but I will do my best to look at people's comments or questions and be happy to you know, share my own experiences, which is really all I could share. But I did give a shout out to Sean, one of my buddies that's also a coach, and Nicola out in Australia. They're both really great, successful business coaches, and more so than a lot of my other friends or people I know in the industry that are, you know, good at what they're doing, carrying a message, being consistent. I think a lot of people always want to know, like, what's the best strategy, or how do I make, you know, 6 figures and by doing these simple 3 steps, or, you know, what's the right answer. And the thing I love about what Sean and Nicola talk about is what's been my own experience is I could have all the right tools and the right coach and the right whatever, but if I'm missing that component of being aligned and working from that place of inspiration, if I'm not factoring that in, if I'm not really taking the time through meditating, through connecting, through being in the highest version of myself in that time, then things that I do typically will fall flat. And so, I think there's a lot of coaches and consultants that want to just tell you, you know, the right thing to do, and you got to do this and you got to do that, and that hasn't been my experience. It's great to have a foundation, and so I hope people don't take this, misconstrue what I'm saying, but at the same time, you want to create from that place of being aligned. And, you know, both Sean Douglas and Nicola do a great job of this. If you guys don't know them, I'd highly recommend following them. because they're always talk about, Sean has his routine on how he gets, I think Sean talks about getting into that vibrational alignment. How do you raise your vibration so you could create from that space, and how much more effective it is? Because look, I could spend 60 hours a week easily doing the same things and staying consistent, and I could get no results out of it. Or I could do 2 hours of being in a place that's inspired and get a ton of results from it. And so what I found in my own practice is finding a balance between the two, because there's times where, I just need to stay consistent. Like writing a book is a perfect example. I'm not going to see any type of result right away. I just need to keep writing and writing and writing. Creating a course is another one of those things. But in a lot of instances, I feel like being aligned is vital, and I think a lot of people don't really talk about that component so much. So, and Nicola is one of those people as well. She's like, screw what someone says is right, screw what works the best for this person, do what's in alignment with you, with your soul, with what's resonating and you're feeling strongly, and connecting with that higher aspect of yourself and creating from that place. And I've found that when I do that more consistently and more deeply, that the results I get are huge. And usually I don't even have an attachment to the outcome, is what I've also found. So I hope this message reaches the people that could benefit and need to hear it. And Corey, what's up, man? Goals and big picture, yes. And so I'm glad, Corey, you mentioned that. I'll leave with, I guess to me, that's the concept that I teach about too I've done in my workshop series and my Loving Your Living course, which is an online training, is the difference between intention and attention. And so intention is setting those goals, having a vision for the future, which are very necessary things, right? You want to have a place where you're going, but you don't want to get too attached to the outcome. You want to create your vision, you want to have some direction, but you want to allow for that freedom during the process, because things aren't going to always work out. In fact, they never work out exactly how we plan. So there's a fine balance between creating that intention and then putting your attention, so moving in that direction with the power of your attention. So maybe that'll be another topic I could speak more about another day, because I love, one of my favorite concepts in the world is the concept of what intention setting really is, because intention setting is a lot different than what most people consider setting goals or having a dream or something like that. So that's for another day, but hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend, and until next time, take care.